Hi, I had promised a video on my CGM. I had worn a CGM for 10 days just out of curiosity to see what would happen with my blood sugar. Very, very, very interesting, but as I predicted. So, number one, I put it on the 26th. I got it from Santa Claus. I put it on the 26th of December. I then did keto, strict keto for 5 days, and my blood sugar stayed at around 5.4. So for the whole 5 days, which some people would say is a little high. So that's around 99 milligrams for Americans and Canadians. But for me, we do 5.4 millimol. So it averaged 5.4 over 5 days. I then went back eating carbs and drinking alcohol again. Now, alcohol is a funny one. You will not see the change in your CGM until day 2. So you drink, your blood sugar will plummet if you're not eating crisps and rubbish. So if you're just drinking the alcohol, particularly if it's over 10%, something like wine, which is what I was drinking. With beer, it's a little bit different. I also did a test on beer. So I did wine, and I have read that anything kind of like whiskey and all of those, so your blood sugar will drop really low. It was like 2.9 during that night. It was like 2.9. It's supposed 3.9 supposed to be the lowest, and then an alarm starts going off. So my alarm was going off. I had to turn off the phone so that the alarm wouldn't be ringing all night. So anyway, that was interesting. So then the next day, when the glucose starts being produced out of the fat in your liver, you may see some kind of improvement, I suppose, would be one way of looking at it, or a slightly upward level. But mine kind of leveled off at about 4.6. And then I was eating carbs in and out for the rest of the time I had the CGM, which seemed like longer than 10 days. I think it was 14 days. It could have been something like that. So it was going up and down and up and down. And I ate my New Year's Day dinner and it went way up. It never went above 10. So it never went above. There's a kind of a gray area where they have kind of an optimal level. It never went above that because I ate plenty protein and plenty fat with my meal. I didn't eat carbs on their own. So that was interesting, but it was exactly as I could have drawn the map myself. The only thing that did surprise me was after all of that, I went back on keto and my blood sugar for 2 or 3 days stayed at between 2.9 and 3.7. The alarm was going off the whole time. And it seemed like once I got out of carbs for a few days, so this was now after the carbs, I did a couple of days of keto where my blood sugar was maybe at 5.4. And then after that, it just stayed really, really low. And actually, it's funny because over the years, I actually did think that I had very low blood sugar because I would have these periods where I would be very low energy and low kind of just weird. So, but what I would say is it stays stable. So your body will, even though I'm quite fat, my body was not releasing enough. Now that could have been a transition period. What I thought afterwards was very interesting is that I had become a little insulin resistant again after my extended period of carbs. So I started eating carbs around the 12th of December and I didn't stop until the 26th. And then I had 5 days of keto. And then I was on carbs again, like it was a second Christmas. So I think that what was happening was I had become a little insulin resistant again. And when you're insulin resistant, your blood sugar, which I think I was most of my life before keto, your blood sugar stays really, really low until the full switch over is done. I wasn't sure about that one, but that was interesting. But I was on and I could feel it. I could feel my very low blood sugar myself without just the CGM alarm going off constantly. So I did eat some carbs then to try and up it a bit, and it did go back up and it kind of stayed there. So my blood sugar, I think you should probably be aiming for around 5, but I think it depends on the person as well and how you process. I would say if I stayed in strict keto for a while, I might get another blood monitor again when I'm on keto for a few months. But it did show me that when you go back on carbs, it's possible to get insulin resistant again, which I didn't really kind of consider. So it was very, very interesting. It's brilliant to get it because it proves what you already think. I suppose I'm very in tune with my blood sugar level, and things that you think would impact, like this is coffee with cream, doesn't impact it at all. And what shocked me the most, but confirmed what I felt myself, is that without food, as long as you have some body fat, I've plenty. Without food, your blood sugar will stabilize. So it might have a tiny little dip when you're changing over from your carbs to your no carbs. And when I do keto, I tend to do zero carbs. I'm like, really, the only thing that has more carbs than I thought, which was a bit of a surprise, was pistachios. I eat a full bag when I'm eating it. Like, why start peeling those shells only for a couple of nuts? So pistachios surprised me. And actually, that's something Dr. Gundry has mentioned several times. Dr. Gundry, who has, he wrote the book, The Keto Code. And he did say that sometimes when he has women attending his clinic that are trying to lose weight or trying to stop becoming insulin resistant, he has to take them off the nuts. Like initially he doesn't, and then they're still not losing weight or whatever. And I would acquiesce with that. And at the beginning I didn't. I was like, no, I love nuts. I'm eating this. Walnuts are not as bad, but I ran out of walnuts and I was eating pistachios like, and definitely they impact your blood sugar in terms of glucose. So there's more carbohydrates in them than you think. So if you're in weight loss, which I'm doing now, I'm doing weight loss now until the start of April, hopefully, if I stick it out. Because I have I'm a 183.8, I think, this morning, and I need to lose some weight. I don't feel very well at this. I'm at the edge of feeling unwell from the fat. So I'm going to try and get back down. 154 is my optimal number. I like to be around 162. It seems to suit me the best in terms of how I feel. Obviously, give me 154, no problem. Everybody wants to be skinny. No thanks to the fat. So that's very interesting. So very easy to put on the fat, but I do feel very well. This is weird because when I was fat before keto, I would have felt unwell at this weight, but I do feel kind of well on the inside. So keto has still kept me kind of relatively clean on the inside. So no alcohol, no carbs until the start of April. We'll see how that goes. And I must start, I haven't been walking for about 6 weeks. I must start walking. So there you go. There's the CGM update. Yeah, if you're curious, I bought mine for 49 euros from Health Wave, I think it is. It's an Irish company, but it's called a Dexcom One Plus, and I thought it was really good. Now it's a very basic reading; you can't go backwards on it, so take screenshots. But very interesting, just to see. And also, if you're kind of wondering, is my blood sugar going up? It's really good to know, whereas I can tell. Take care. Have a lovely day. We're just waiting for Storm Eowyn, I think it is. So it's supposed to be the worst storm in 20 years. We'll see how it goes. If I'm not here tomorrow, you'll know. Bye. It's the 23rd of the 1st, 2025.